Good morning, folks. Today is March 23rd. Welcome to First Things First, Simply Cyber's daily morning cybersecurity threat briefing. I'm your host, Gerald Auger, and in the next 30 minutes, you're going to be delivered the top cybersecurity news stories of the day, and I will provide expert analysis on each of these stories, sometimes getting a little spicy with some hot takes. I'll be delivering what it means to you as a practitioner or folks looking to break into the industry. I want to give a shout out to the stream sponsor today. Thank you, Barricade Cyber Solutions, your partner for incident response, ransomware protection, and business recovery. If you're dealing with a nightmare scenario in your business, Eric Taylor and the group over at Barricade can definitely help you out. If you are live, love it. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for getting up. I know 8 a.m. can be tough depending on what time zone you're in. If you're watching on replay, thank you for catching the stream. And you know the routine. If you want to jump right to the news, when the ticker in the corner goes down to 0, we're going to start the cybersecurity headlines of the day. But for the next, 2 minutes, 51 seconds, we're going to be welcoming people into the stream, seeing how everyone's feeling, and just, start this day off right. So if you got coffee, tip it back. I want to say cheers to everybody. Cheers. Good morning. What's up, Brian? Good to see you. Got our music going. Hopefully you guys can hear that. Let's see what we got going on. Let's welcome everybody. Let me zoom up on this thing a little bit. Hope everybody had a good night. Let's see. Good morning, Chad. Rand. Good to see you. Anna Hogan. Nice. Congratulations, Anna, on passing Network Plus. Good on you. Thanks for reaching out to me to speak at that event. I'm looking forward to it. Hey, Brian. Good to see you. Mubarez. Good to see you. Let's see. Oxa, yeah, I don't know. It's not up to me. If you're talking about the lecture that I'm going to be giving on April 9th, that's not my decision. The group who is asked me to come speak, it would be up to them. Good to see you. Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Black Knight. What's at 8:40? I don't know what's at 8:40. What I will tell you is I'll be teasing this in a little bit, but guys, this Okta thing, this lapsus thing is a nightmare. So actually at 8:30 today, so I didn't even put a time on this like an idiot. Right after today's First Things First, myself and Eric Taylor of Barricade Cyber Solutions are actually going to be doing a live stream talking about this Okta breach, talking about lapsus as a threat actor group. And really, I put what impact next steps. Basically, what happened. Whoops, this isn't the right. Hold on, guys. You don't want to see that. What happened? What is the impact to the organization, to the country, to us individuals? And really, what next steps should you be thinking about taking? So if you're interested in getting a little bit deeper, I think I called it deep dive, get a little bit deeper on this Okta lapsus thing, then come join us. It'll be a fun conversation, unscripted, really just, expert analysis, talking about what's going on. Especially these lapsus people, man, they're coming in hot. Oh, let's see. What else is everyone doing? Nathan Bolin, good to see you. Jacksonville, Florida. I was just near Jacksonville, Florida this weekend. Going deep with Jerry. That's right, B-Sec. Yikes. This got spicy quick, huh? Good morning. Where's my spicy sounder? Spicy! There it is. Good morning. Guys, I love some coffee. 5 seconds. Before we start, I do want to give a shout out. Got my Dakota State University mug here. Let's see. DSU. Right? Get that DSU love in there. Lost a good one. Dr. Wayne Paulai passed away just a couple days ago. Dude was instrumental in bringing the PhD cyber operations program to Dakota State University, which I ended up obviously taking. So sucks, but shout out to him. Condolences for his family. Crystal's a wonderful woman. All right, guys, let's get started on today's top news stories. If you want to play along, hopefully you guys know the routine. You can go to CISOseries.com, CISOseries.com. David Spark and his gang absolutely dominate at delivering this podcast daily, which makes First Things First possible. So thank you, David, and the team over there. Let's dig in.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
It's Wednesday, March 23rd, 2022. Ransomware attack on Okta leads to data breach. Lapsus Group claims to have hacked the network of cloud-based security software provider Okta. Lapsus posted screenshots on Telegram confirming that it successfully stole sensitive data and was able to gain superuser access to Okta's entire corporate network. The media is speculating that the data breach could have put all of Okta's roughly 15,000 customers at extreme risk, affecting companies such as Peloton, Cloudflare, Grubhub, T-Mobile, FCC, and Sonos. A spokesperson from Okta noted that so far, there is no firm evidence to substantiate the media's speculation.
Yeah, so thanks, BSEC, for modding today. So, guys, this is exactly why Eric and I are going to be going deep at 8:30 right after the stream on the Okta breach. This story, this Lapsus Group, all of this is, front page news right now. So I'm not going to go super into the analysis of this particular story simply because we're about to do it at 8:30. But Okta is a major identity and access management cloud provider, right? So Ping Identity, Okta, you may have heard of these terms. Basically, they allow single sign-on to many, many, many cloud systems, right? So you don't have to goof around business to business making identities, be able to authenticate all of them. Okta acts as this abstracted layer that handles all the identity and authentication. And then the two parties agree that, like, I'm going to provide service, you're going to provide people, identities, and, we'll use Okta as the platform to validate that you're legit who you are. Lapsus Group breached them. We'll look at some screenshots. We'll look at some information. We'll really look at Lapsus as a threat organization and what we know about them. These guys, this is the same group, guys, that hacked or breached NVIDIA, Samsung, a couple other ones. So this group is like on fire since just late December, early January. So this is not good for Okta. We've already heard rumblings in the news of major players like Cloudflare, who's a major vendor that uses Okta, talking about looking at alternative solutions. Okta's stock value dipped 6% on this news. So it's not good, right? We talk, like, I know zero trust is such a broken, abused, overused term, hackneyed, if you will, at this point, to use a vocab word. Okta is one of the solutions that kind of allows you to do not zero trust, but scale identity and access management at large. And if this is compromised, it's a major issue.
Lapsus leaks 37 gigabytes of Microsoft source code.
It's a Lapsus day.
appears to be staying busy, posting a 7-zip archive on Monday night containing 37 gigabytes of source code for over 250 projects, including Bing and Cortana, that appears to have been stolen from Microsoft's internal Azure server. The stolen source appears to be related to Microsoft web-based infrastructure, websites, and mobile apps with no detected impact to Windows, Microsoft Server, or Microsoft Office. In recent months, Lapsus has disclosed numerous cyber attacks against large companies, including NVIDIA, Samsung, Vodafone, Ubisoft, Mercado Libre, and of course, Okta.
Okay, well, thank you, Lawrence Abrams, or whoever just did that story, to qualify and enumerate all of Lapsus's victims, which I just failed to do a minute ago. So again, guys, Lapsus is like on fire, or en fuego, to use a Spanish term, since it's believed that they're out of Brazil. 37 gigs of Microsoft data. Guys, Microsoft, again, we all know Microsoft, major player, right? And you would think that hold on. Hold on. Hold on one second. I am showing really quickly. Can we, this is going to sound ridiculous, but can I get some like thumbs up from people if you're watching this? There it is. According to Restream, I was streaming to one person on Twitch and 0 people on YouTube, and it made no sense. I see 87, 88, 89 people now. Okay, so 37 gigs of data of Microsoft. First of all, that's not good for Microsoft, right? Second of all, Microsoft's a major player, so it's supposed to be secure, right? So that's not good. Now, I don't know if this is related to Okta or not. For me, it'd be interesting to know why Microsoft wouldn't be using its own identity and access management, federated authentication solutions like Azure AD, Azure MFA, log in with Microsoft, right? Like, why would they be using Okta? That I don't know. So I don't know if it's related or not. 37 gigs of data is not good. Guys, I hate to be like a jerk or something, but it was Bing. It was Bing and Bing Maps and Cortana, which I think Cortana might have some value because of the digital assistant stuff and all that. But like Bing, like, is anyone losing sleep over Bing? So if it was Microsoft Office, if it was Microsoft Windows source code, that could be a big problem. I'm not saying that Microsoft shouldn't be treated like a victim here or anything, but I just from a risk perspective, when we're talking impact, right? Um, they could open source Bing, and I don't know if it would cause a stir, right? So I hate to be hating on Microsoft, but anyways, it just, I guess this just further refines the fact that lapses can get into anywhere, right? Like major flex.
Anonymous hacks Nestle for operating in Russia. Activist group Anonymous announced Tuesday that they've stolen 10 gigabytes of sensitive data from Nestle, including company emails, passwords, and customer data, for continuing to operate in Russia after its invasion of Ukraine. So far, Anonymous has only leaked a sample of data of roughly 50,000 Nestle customers. Ukrainian Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal said of Nestle's choice to remain in the Russian market, quote, "Paying taxes to the budget of a terrorist country means killing defenseless children and mothers. I hope Nestle changes its mind soon," end quote. Anonymous has threatened 40 more international companies, warning that they have 48 hours to cease Russian operations.
Okay, so Anonymous, this is, getting back to Russian-Ukrainian conflict. Okay, so Anonymous, and we've covered this in the show before, but Anonymous has basically said, we stand with Ukraine. If you don't actively stand with Ukraine, then by default you stand with Russia, and that makes you an adversary. So Anonymous is essentially attacking the businesses, well, the Russian military government, but also punishing businesses for continuing to operate in Russia. Now, it looks like they did this this attack here on Nestle, which, correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Nestle is they make the chocolate, right? So I'm not sure. I mean, it's not great, but like I don't know if it's like national secrets or something like that. They're also threatening all these other organizations. So yeah, exactly, Kimberly. I don't know what the risk is here, but here's the thing: look at all these organizations. These are all consumer-facing organizations. Just about Chevron, you could make an argument it's a little bit different, but in Halliburton, but like Dunkin' Donuts, Papa John's, Subway, these are all food, right? Some of these I don't recognize. Citrix, right? City. Here's my thing, and I would have thought before, like, okay, listen, I'm with you. Just pull out, no big deal. Like, there's major businesses that are losing significant investment in capital by just ripping out their operations in Russia right now, and they're okay with that, and that's fine. Some organizations like Cloudflare has openly said we're not going to leave Russia because by leaving Russia, we're actually leaving the citizens of Russia, even the ones who oppose the conflict, without kind of solid internet and without the ability to get access to information. So it's behooved us to actually stay there. It's better if we stay there. So I don't know if Anonymous's approach to being so Boolean is appropriate or not. But with these consumer businesses like Dunkin' Donuts and stuff, it makes a little bit more sense. It's a little easier to understand the argument. Whether or not it's right, yeah, they are franchises. They may not even be associated. It could be just how a Russian, mom feeds her family by running her Dunkin' Donuts franchise. So, guys, it's not as simple, right? It's not simplistic on or off. There's a lot of gray area. There's a lot of story. There's a lot of individual experiences that make tough decisions have to happen. So, I'd really have to reflect how I feel about Anonymous on this. I wouldn't want to make a snap decision on how I feel, but it kind of sucks that Anonymous is just straight up breaching and disclosing sensitive data for these organizations.
Top Russian meat producer hit with BitLocker encryption attack.
Oof.
Moscow-based meat producer and distributor Miratorg Agribusiness
box.
Holding has suffered a major cyber attack that encrypted its IT systems, according to a report from Roslkosnadzor, the Russian Federal Supervision Service. The announcement indicates that the attackers used a ransomware attack leveraging Windows BitLocker to encrypt files. The motive for the attack appears to be sabotage and not financial in nature. Miratorg has stated that they are working towards restoring business operations and has indicated that it does not anticipate any impact to supply and shipments to Russian citizens.
Okay, a couple things here. One, from an operational perspective, it sounds like this particular vendor had business resiliency in place. So when they get hit with this, it doesn't actually impact their ability to produce product and make money. Making the meat product and shipping it to their customers. So that's good, and that's like a lesson learned for all organizations. Again, I got to get the shirts made. It's I use the word cybersecurity because that's what society has agreed is like the norm. But really, what we're doing is cyber resiliency, and this organization obviously understood it, or the impact of this particular quote unquote ransomware attack. Ugh. Josh Mason, I'm looking to you in mod chat for reliability on the quality of this stream. I'm seeing people talking stuff in chat, whether or not my audio is going out, my video is going down. The other thing that I want to point out, guys, another technique that we see threat actors use all the time is called living off the land. This is a term you should be familiar with. Living off the land is essentially using tools and applications and content that can be found on the device, right? And an example of this is PowerShell. So PowerShell is it's kind of like a scripting language that Windows administrators can use to make administering a Windows environment easier, right? You can script with PowerShell. Well, almost all systems have PowerShell in a Windows environment because that's how the admins are going to administer it. Well, it's a very powerful language, and threat actors know this. So instead of writing their own code and having it drop on a box and maybe having EDR discover it, they leverage PowerShell because they know it's there. They know it's going to hide in the noise, and it's effective. So this particular attack right here, you could see they leverage Windows BitLocker encryption. Windows BitLocker is, as far as I know, like Windows 10, maybe 7, but 10, 11 for sure has this Windows BitLocker capability in it, which basically allows you to encrypt the hard drive on the device. When you boot into it, you put in a pin or fingerprint or whatever, and it decrypts the box. It's the same way that our iPhones work with the pin and stuff like that. And the idea is that if you lose your laptop in a Uber, you can say there's no data breach because the hard drive was encrypted, right? Great control, easy for the end user, great for IT, great for InfoSec. The problem is threat actors can live off the land, and if they encrypt your machine and they don't give you the key, obviously ransomware 101, then you're screwed. And they know that those Windows machines are going to have that BitLocker capability on them because that's just built into how Windows is building these systems. So these controls can always be leveraged for good or for evil. And I'm not surprised to see this. In fact, I'm actually kind of surprised that you don't see it more often because of this living off the land approach that has become quite popular in the last 5-10 years.
And now, a word from our sponsor, warned that the latest intelligence indicates that the Russian government is exploring options for potential cyber attacks on U.S. critical infrastructure in retaliation for sanctions resulting from Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The White House has contacted companies that could be impacted and has also released a fact sheet for organizations to use to harden their cyber defenses, including employee awareness and education, implementing MFA, staying current with patching, backing up and encrypting data, performing red team exercises, and updating security tools. Background.
Okay. All right. So, a couple things here. One, CISA and the U.S. government has shields up, right? Like they've been talking for weeks about the increased likelihood of a cyber attack, right? Like strengthen your organization, send your risk profiles up, make your likelihood increase for all your risk calculations and all this stuff because of a potential impending attack from Russia. Okay, so I guess maybe they're saying that the likelihood is continuing to increase. So guys, here's the thing. the United States specifically has excellent intel operations, right? We have the CIA, we have the NSA, we have great nation state level capabilities for intelligence gathering, intelligence signal, not interrupting, but like seeing the data, right? Understanding what's going on, hearing chatter, right? And if this Shields thing went up a couple weeks ago, chances are this is a filtered out, distilled down version of indications in chatter that they're hearing at the national security level, right? So this is getting even more ramped up. So we could see some potential attacks on U.S. infrastructure. Here's the thing, and this is, excuse me, this is scary and this is sad. God dang. I had some people who were on the CISA call yesterday, and a lot of the people asking questions didn't sound expert in exercising information security. Now, this is hearsay, but I was told the questions being asked were not at the right level. They were kind of like, no, I don't want to say not informed, but like you're not asking the right questions. You should be asking something 3 steps down the road, not something here. Here's the scary, honest truth. And this isn't like FUD, fear, uncertainty, doubt that I'm trying to sow. I'm just telling you the reality. If now is when you're deciding to implement information security because of this CISA warning, it's too late. Like, yes, start moving forward, but like information security, a program, basic blocking and tackling, it takes time, right? Like the absolute fastest you could put in the absolute minimum would be like 3 months. And that's with like a lot of money, a lot of resources, a lot of focus, and a lot of grace and approval from senior leadership to just move and push people out of the way so you can roll out all this stuff, right? Trying to get logging on all your endpoints. If you're a decent sized organization, yeah, you can do it with like, oh God, what's the Windows technology that allows you to push everything? I'm having a brain fart, guys, but basically you can push things to endpoints, but apps will break. Certain endpoints won't take it. You'll have a different conversion. So you have to do a lot of work to put in even just the ability to log on endpoints, let alone a SIM to ingest it, tune the SIM to see it, staff to actually run the SIM. What do you do when you detect something? What's the SOP? Who do you call? That's just SecOps, right? That's SCCM. Thank you, Peter Parker, Irish, Johnny Rivera, right? So like, I'm just talking one facet of information security, and that will take months. So all that to say, if now is when you're trying to put in information security because it's real now, it's serious now, I just hope you can hide in the noise, because if it's not good, it's not good if now is when you're deciding to implement information security. So I hope we as a country, United States, are able to avoid being attacked on our US infrastructure. And I hope nothing bad happens to this. And I actually hope, in a weird, macabre way, that this is the catalyst that gets those organizations that have been dragging their feet, looking for compliance only, pencil whipping checklists and stuff, and actually implement information security and realize that there's a threat that they need to account for. All right. Now I'm getting pissed. All right. Here we go. Let's keep it going.
Check company sued over data breach. Back in February, international background check services company Creative Services Inc. confirmed that personal data belonging to more than 164,000 clients had been compromised in a breach they detected back in November. Breach data includes names, dates of birth, financial account numbers, social security numbers, and driver's license numbers. CSI began issuing breach notices last month, offering 24 months of free credit monitoring to affected individuals. CSI's latest breach discovery came 2 months after it had notified 1,000 individuals that their personal information had been compromised in a separate incident. 4 parallel lawsuits have been filed by plaintiffs alleging that CSI failed to effectively protect the information of people whose backgrounds it was hired to check.
Okay, so this is a so this is a background investigation company. A lot of businesses will outsource this in order to check your criminal history, your financial history, your drug history, and whatever whatever level of scrutiny that they want to evaluate for, determine if you're okay for the position that they're putting you into. Okay, obviously there's a ton of data that these people will have access to, and they got breached. Couple things. One, why is this background company holding data on background checks from 2018? I'm curious. Like, as far as I know, there's no regulation that requires you to store that data. And if you do my background check and I pass or whatever, and you hire me or whatever, why do you need to retain that? Right? Like, do you have customers who are coming back like 2 years later and they're like, oh, let me see that background check. Secondly, it makes me wonder if these, I hate to be a jerk, right? But it makes me wonder if this organization is like, oh, let's stockpile all these background checks. And then when, like, let's say Kimberly McKnight gets background checked in 2018 and then she switches jobs in 2020 and it comes up again for a background check. Do they, instead of spending the money to actually do the background check, they just pulled one from their database and throw it over the fence and go, here you go. Like a cynical, I'm cynical that like someone would be so financially motivated that they're actually not delivering the service that they promise, and trying to rehash an old piece of product, right? So that's one theory. The other thing that bothers me about this, honestly, is that this organization noticed an unauthorized user accessing systems and then basically exfilling 2018 to 2021 data. Okay, so did you not have multi-factor authentication on? I'm curious. Like, they don't go into detail about how that happened, but that's my first thought is how are you unauthorized accessing these things? By the way, so this is their letter. Okay, thanks Ron Garvey for the sub. This is their letter. Oh, this is just your data has been breached letter. I'm curious. I always love the word serious. Yes, here we go. BSEC. Take this. We take this incident, the security of your personal information, quite seriously. That's why we hoard it. Get out of here. Okay.
Hundreds of HP printer models vulnerable to remote code execution. Security advisories have been published for 4 security vulnerabilities affecting HP's LaserJet Pro, PageWide Pro, OfficeJet, Enterprise, Large Format, and DeskJet printer models. The first issue, disclosed in an advisory from Trend Micro, is a critical security buffer overflow flaw that could lead to remote code execution on affected printers. A second bulletin from HP warns about 2 critical and 1 high-severity bug that could be exploited for information disclosure, remote code execution, and denial of service. HP has released firmware security updates for most affected products and has provided mitigation instructions for printers still pending security updates.
Okay, we're getting short on time, so I won't spend a bunch of this. First of all, shout out to buffer overflows. I know it's the first thing that we all learned in like OffSec training, but this one actually was a buffer overflow problem. Guys, all I'll say about this is don't forget about printers. When you're doing vulnerability management, don't forget about printers. When you're patching things, when you're thinking of how threat actors can get a foothold in your organization, don't forget about printers, right? There was actually a really famous like printer attack a couple years ago, right? With the PewDiePie trying to reach like 1 million or 10 million subs or something like that. And somebody was able to push print jobs to all these different printers. So Google it if you don't know about it. It's interesting. But guys, a printer is basically just a computer, right? It's a very special computer, and the operating system is stripped down and very focused, but it's a computer. It has network access often, so people can print to it. So it means unless you put it on a printer network segment and only allow certain print jobs to go in and in one-way traffic and all that, which most people don't, they just plug it into the network, you have a potential risk. So make sure that you're including printers in your vulnerability management program.
Data breach. DATABREACH. Data breach. Proving that nothing is sacred anymore, back in January, hackers targeted the website for the National Spelling Bee and stole personal information from site users. According to a data breach filing by Scripps, the company who organizes the notorious contest, the hackers were able to steal login credentials and more than 54,000 email addresses from the site, which is used as a resource portal for contestants' parents, sponsors, and teachers. Scripps quickly patched the website after discovering the breach and have notified site users, advising them to change their passwords. Scripps indicated that so far, they have received only a handful of related user inquiries.
Okay, all I'll say about this one, like whatever, you might see what's the value in this. The only thing I could think of right away is that database can used as a feeder into phishing, right? Obviously, these people are super into spelling bees and competition. So you put together a phishing email from Scripps saying that your child has been invited to the National Spelling Bee. Click here to fill out the form. I guarantee you all of those people are going to click through and fill out the form, including giving up their username and password. You could even phone them and say, hey, I'm Scripps. Calling to congratulate you on being in here. You do have to put it's $1,000 fee to enter the contest. Go ahead and put that in Amazon gift cards and send it over, or Walmart gift cards, send it over, and we'll send you a confirmation that your son or daughter has been invited to the spelling bee. This is like a ham-fisted, easy financial attack that could happen. And that's the value of something as simple as a spelling bees database with email addresses, right? So I don't know who did it. I don't know what they did, but best practice, be aware of what phishes are, be aware of emails, don't click on anything. And by the way, don't just educate your end users. If you've been taking the GRC course, in the security awareness section, I harp on this hard. Educate people to protect themselves personally. They will bring that behavior into the workplace. If you tell them it's just for work, they're not going to care. If you tell them that you don't want you to get hacked or you're on to get hacked or something, people are more responsive and it resonates with them. So anyways, sucks for Scripps, but it's a good news story. All right, guys, really quickly, we're slightly over time. Eric Taylor's probably in chat. Guys, in a few minutes, I'm going to go get a cup of coffee, and then I'm going to come back up here and hit go live again. We're going to be talking about this Okta breach. What happened? What is the impact to you? Is it overblown in the media? And what are the next steps that you should be aware of? We're going to be talking about the Lapsus group, where they're believed to be out of, why they're doing what they're doing. Also, I want to just quickly shout out that this Thursday, tomorrow, March 24th, we've got Scott Grow doing a day in the life of someone who works in product, right? We're always talking about different jobs in the cybersecurity industry. Product is its own, dimension of the cybersecurity industry. It's slightly adjacent to practitioner, but it is important to understand. And Scott is a really cool dude, super chill, had many good conversations with him. And I asked him to come on to bring this perspective. He is a former CISO, so he brings, practitioner perspective into his role, and it'll be a good time. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's First Things First. I always appreciate all of you being here. I don't know what's going on with the YouTubes and it dropping and all that. Sorry. Yes, I'm going to be broadcasting this Okta thing on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all the socials. So if YouTube is sucking, then let's go somewhere else and do it. Turn up the black keys. So, all right, guys, thanks so much. I'll see you in a few minutes. Eric Taylor, hit me on Discord and we can coordinate, but I got to go get a cup of coffee because this is about to get serious. No, Toby, you can't stay here. I'm going to end this stream and then start a new one after I get a cup of coffee. All right, new record, 120. Hey, thanks so much, guys. 120, we're blowing it up. People are finding out about First Things First. You guys already know how great it is. Other people are finding out, which gives me, it makes me happy. I'm really, really thrilled that we're able to deliver this content to so many people every day, day after day. All right, guys, I'm going to end the stream and then we're going to go to, talk about Okta. All right, so give me 2 minutes. All right, don't go too far.